Okay, I have 9 o'clock. We'll call the Board of Commissioners April 9th meeting to order. Please join me in the pledge to our flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll begin with the agenda review.
Mr. Chair, there are no changes to the agenda today.
I move the agenda.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The agenda is approved. Next, we'll have the land acquisition resolution. So if you want to come forward. And
You get there?
yeah, you can actually
Sure.
come right here. And
Good morning.
Hi.
Good morning.
Stein Inzer with the DNR Wildlife Office out of Nicollet.
well, welcome.
Okay.
And we have today a parcel of property just south of Good Thunder. Do you have maps?
We do.
Okay. Just a small little 13-acre tract to round out a unit that we had originally given the landowner an easement into since it was kind of landlocked. And they have decided to go ahead and sell it to the Minnesota Deer Hunters Association.
Oh.
And Deer Hunters got a grant from the OHF Fund, Outdoor Heritage Fund, and they will be donating it to us.
Oh, nice.
Yep, so, real nice piece of deer habitat and solves a lot of problems for management of that property. But since we're using the OHF, we need to get county board resolution.
Sure. Okay. Anybody have any questions for Stein?
I don't.
Okay.
Good asset.
I can
Entertain
stay
'em.
back there.
Yeah. And can you get deer from my area to can we get them somehow to?
Go your area.
You know, I flew a survey this winter right after the polar vortex, and I was amazed at how many deer had congregated into herds that were much larger than we normally see.
Wow.
And I think a lot of your constituents might have noticed the same thing. In isolated areas, we had complaints of really getting crowded, but they've spread out again.
Yeah, most of them, a lot of them in my yard now. That's right.
They come up our ravine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I certainly noticed at my house, but they would, of course, I like to see the deer. So.
Some people get trophies, you know, when they shoot deer.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, good. Do we have a motion?
I'll move approval.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? If there's no discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Well, thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Very nice.
By the way, I was in Nicollet when the commissioner was down. She did a really nice job, so thank you for having her come.
Yeah.
She and Tom Peterson.
We're hoping to get her out on Swan Lake soon.
Oh, okay.
And to perhaps demonstrate to folks that it's more than just a swamp. and maybe get some commissioners out with the Conservation Club. And at that time, I've offered to give a discussion of the PILT process if anybody is interested in that. So we'll see if we can get that going. You folks might be well versed in PILT, but some county boards aren't, and so I've offered to make that available to you.
Great.
Good.
That'd be
All
great.
right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
All right. Move on to Public Works. Ryan?
Good morning.
Morning.
Sunny, beautiful day in Blue Earth County.
Oh,
Yes.
we should enjoy it today.
now.
Can't make it up.
That's a double. It's more the ways than one.
Did you think your guys might be plowing snow on Friday?
You know, no, I thought they were going to be eating, learning safety training and having a day. But, you know, it shouldn't surprise me because last year,
Yeah, we got it on the
same thing happened.
15th.
We got
Oh, yeah.
We got it.
We got drilled in the middle of the month last year as well. So, well, we've got an action-packed agenda today. Lots going on in Public Works. The first order of business is consideration of bids for our County State Highway 14 reconstruction. This is a piece from Minnesota Highway 30 to SAW 4. So south of the previously reconstructed piece that's been reopened to traffic. We received 3 bids. Our engineer's estimated amount was $4.23 million, and we received good bids. Mathwitz Construction Company was the apparent low bidder at $3.886 million, which is 8% under our estimate. Midwest Contracting came in second at $4.121 million, 2.5% under our estimate. And Southern Minnesota Construction came in at $4.185 million, which was 1% under our estimate. So all the bids were really good. We reviewed the bids for accuracy and completeness, and with that, we would recommend award of the bid to Mathwitz Construction Company.
I'll move approval.
Second?
Okay, any discussion? If there's no discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Very good.
All right. The second order of business is consideration of bids for our 2019 bituminous overlays contract. This is for bituminous overlays on County Stated Highways number 4, 14, 16, 52, County Road 163, and County Road 179. Again, we received very good bids, so we're really happy to get them out early and into a competitive bidding environment. Our engineer's estimated amount was $2.184 million. Southern Minnesota Construction came in as the apparent low bid, $1.921 million, which is 12% under our estimate. With Yulin Brothers second, $2.015 million, which was 7.73 under our estimate. And then Central Specialties also bid $2.607 million, which was almost 20% over the estimate. Primary reason they were so far out of it was because they generally set their plants up in New Ulm at the Quartzsite Quarry, and all of these overlays in the southeast quadrant of the county, so more competitive for Uland and SMC. So again, bids were tabulated for accuracy and completeness, and were found to be according to our standards. So with that, I would recommend award to OMG Midwest Southern Minnesota Construction.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? If there's no discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's carried.
Fantastic. We may seek an additional overlay candidate depending how a couple more project budgets come in. If we continue to see them low, we might want to get some more miles covered, which has been a common practice in the past few years. Go with a conservative base bid, and then as we get bid results back, then we'll pursue a late season paving project as well. The third order of business, consideration of bids for the 2019 bituminous emulsion contract. This is for our maintenance forces for seal coating. We received two bids this year in comparison to the 3 that were previously received in 2018, with the results of 2018 at the bottom. HG Meigs was the apparent low bidder at a grand total of $449,571. I would recommend award to HG Meigs.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
That's.
If there's no discussion, or did you have something, Mark?
Well, I was saying, that's pretty low too then, I think from before. I was trying to look for the.
Yeah, we don't have an engineer's estimate for this because it's just a material procurement. But we are seeing a jump about $50,000, so a considerable jump from last year, but we've got it out to the 3 large producers, and this was what we received back, so we're somewhat subject to the market.
Yeah. Good. Any other questions? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Great. Action item number 4, consideration of the County Stated Highway 17 and Hafner Drive Cooperative Construction Agreement. This agreement that's in your packet defines the agency responsibilities on this county-led construction project. The roundabout with the approach roadways is split out at the mid-radius points of the roundabout. I believe I previously shared a visual to kind of assist showing who is paying for what, but effectively if you cut the roundabout like a pie at the midpoint of the approach roads, that's what we're paying for along with the approach roadway. With that being said, the trails, storm sewer, and sidewalks are split 50-50 city-county. So as we look at this as a whole, Blue Earth County's final estimated cost is detailed on the Schedule I that's included in the document. I'm not sure what page, it's about the third to last page of
Page 16.
Yeah.
16. And this is based on the preliminary engineer's estimate amounts based on the quantities for each respective share of the project and the engineer's estimated unit prices. When we open bids, we'll have a better idea of where it is because it'll be reflective of the contract unit prices, and the final project cost will be based on obviously final construction unit prices. So the quantities are prorated in the following engineer's estimate based on county, city shares of each share of the project. With that being said, after we take into account the participating amounts of the storm sewer contingencies, engineering, and then we subtract out the amount that was received for the local road improvement program grant, the county share is $563,000, almost $564,000, and the city share is $348,144.58. Percentage-wise, that comes out to 62% county, 38% city. So with that, I would recommend approval of the cooperative construction agreement as it's presented.
Okay, is there a motion?
I'll move approval.
Okay, is there a second?
Second it.
Any discussion? There's no discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's carried.
Thank you. Action item number 5 is an intent to cost participate agreement, again with the city of Mankato, for the County State Highway 57 Riverfront Drive roundabout interchange with US Highway 14. This is to cover the project cost leading up to bidding the project. So the preliminary and final engineering, I don't anticipate right-of-way acquisition being necessary, but geotechnical engineering, all of the work that leads us up to project development, ready for a project to be put out to bid. This defines again the agency agreements between the city and the county. The county will be the lead agency on this project because we did receive the local partnership program funding from the state to help fund MnDOT's share of the project. With that being said, the project cost shares are based on MnDOT's cost participation policy, with Blue Earth County and Mankato responsible for their respective legs of the project as shown in Appendix A, which was the same visual that I had provided to you at the most recent March work session. This agreement really only covers the preliminary and final design costs as anticipated, approximately $250,000, with MnDOT being responsible for about $90,000 or 35%, the county being responsible for $100,000 or 40%, and the city at $62,500, 25%. The final cost share for this agreement will actually be based on the engineer's estimate that will be generated as part of the design process.
I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Okay, any discussion? If not,
It's time.
do you have something?
Yes.
No, it's time.
Yeah,
Oh,
this one
needs to be
yeah.
done. And this is 21 project?
Yeah, 21.
Thank you.
I travel that a bit. And that's kind
I
of,
bet.
Yeah. That's okay.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank
All
you.
right, fantastic. Action item number 6, resolution adopting Part 1 and Part 6 of the Mankato Area Planning Organization Americans with Disabilities Act Transition Plan. One more acronym and I might not have got that out.
It's county government. It's acronyms.
Yes.
Yeah.
Per the recent March 19th work session, the ADA transition plan is nearing the final adoption by the MAPO. This resolution adopts the general MAPO ADA transition plan with Part 1 being the general overview, policies, and procedures, as well as the Blue Earth County Section 6 specific inventory and assessment. This is the resolution that was provided by the consultant for the project and modified to meet Blue Earth County's needs.
I'll move approval.
second.
Okay, any discussion? If none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Fantastic.
Yeah, worked well.
Moving right along.
Yeah.
Just to give you some updates on planning projects, County State Highway 10 from the Blue Earth River to CASAB 1, we've submitted the Army Corps of Engineers permit. We're also beginning to have meetings with landowners for right-of-way acquisition. Really, at this point, the Corps permit is going to be a critical path of whether or not we're able to get the project let this summer. And ideally, we'd like to get some of the crossings replaced for the storm sewer pipes and tiles, and perhaps look at doing some of the grading, but we'll see how we fare with time. Really, the plans are at a 90 to 95% completion. We're waiting to finalize those until we receive comments back from our meetings with the landowners, because many times we have revisions that the landowners want to see based on drainage or other needs, and we facilitate those and put them into our plan set. So, CASA 17, Hafner Drive Roundabout, plans have been approved by the state. We've have the project advertised for bids. We're opening on May 1st, and bringing it forward next month for consideration at the May 7th board meeting. So we're very excited to get that one out on the ground and under construction.
Mr. Chair?
Yeah, go ahead.
So the road close sign up there now is for the
Yep.
easement? Or you,
Yep, so right in my next,
okay, I'm sorry.
no, you're fine.
You just got it.
Yeah,
I didn't want to skip over, because I need to know these dates, so I can,
Yes.
because I'll get questions.
So we are closing the North Hafner Drive approach road to facilitate an early start to the utility relocations. So that'll be effectively, County State Highway 17 traffic westbound will not be impacted, but the right turn lane to make the northbound movement will be closed off, as well as the north approach of Hafner Drive. So basically from the north fog line to the southernmost Snell driveway coming out of the car wash. Just that little piece right there will be barricaded off. That'll allow Xcel Energy to go in. They'll be the first ones in. They've got to do a pretty significant lowering for that massive electrical system feed between two of their main manholes. So they'll replace their system, and then we are working to schedule so that the telecommunications companies, I believe there's 4 of them, have to come in and make their relocations as well as soon as Xcel is done and lowered. With that being said, ideally, the way we've tried to lay it out is that Xcel will be in, telecommunications will be in, and then the contractor will be ready to go.
What do you think the time frame will be? Do you have any idea?
We have for the utility relocations and the directive letter we gave them was June 15th to be relocated, and then we expressed that to the contractors in the proposal,
So a month,
approximately.
about a month, they'll be, and will that road be closed that whole month, probably?
The road, we're anticipating the road will be closed.
The whole
Off
month,
the
okay.
construction, and we've communicated that with the business owners and expressed
Okay.
that, you know, it's got to happen at one point or not,
Sure.
or another. It's really going to become critical path because those utilities are in the way of all of the work that we have to do with facilitating the drainage for the design. So, I mean, obviously it's not ideal, but I think it's understood the necessity.
Well, if you want the roundabout, you got to do it.
Yeah. To make it on, you've got to break a few eggs, right?
And we will have the right of way before we let the bid then, or?
We've got, and I should have checked with Jack this morning, we've got signatures on 3 out of 4.
Okay.
And no anticipated
Okay.
opposition, so that they're very supportive of the project, and we're just working through getting some things cleared up with respect to the loans that are helping some of the properties and getting banks to sign off.
That's very important to have that right of way.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you for that update.
27 from 17 to 2, SRF has just submitted the 30% plans. Project's moving right along on design. We're likely to have a public open house meeting in either late May or early June, so when we meet with them, we'll probably be picking a date for that and getting notices out. The County State Aid Highway 41 bridge replacement project, as you may recall, we are receiving federal funds for the bridge replacement in 2020. We need to get the project memorandum submitted, as well as the approach grading plans. The bridge plans have been completed. We brought a consultant on board to help us with that, just with our current workload. It was above and beyond what we're able to deliver with our own staff, so that'll get moving forward quickly in the near future. Rapidan Dam and the left abutment repairs. The plans are being reviewed by the FERC, and we're anticipating we should be receiving them back fairly soon. Recent flooding events passed the 2nd largest ever flow at the dam. So 27,000 was our previous number 2, now 30,900 is our new number 2. So, and not only did it carry a tremendous amount of water with it, but large pieces of ice, trees, a lot of debris going down the river, so there were some damages. 2 of the cables for the pulley system on the Tainer gates were broken, and then one of the drive systems for one of the Tainer gates was also dislodged and hit pretty hard, so they're working on repairs for that. So right now, Eagle Creek is drawing down the upstream basin to try to get to the low crest elevation. and then they can do more safely pursue the repairs that are necessary. Downstream, we've noticed some areas where there are exposed pieces of rebar sticking up. So once the flows subside and we're able to safely do inspections, we'll evaluate whether it was debris that came downstream, some of the old concrete that was shifted around, whether it's damage to the new apron. I'm very hopeful that that's not the case, because the repair that we did was fairly robust, but again, that was a pretty massive storm as well with a lot of flow. So
Yeah.
we'll be doing further analysis and review of that. But we're hopeful to get the left wall repair project out yet early this summer. The current bridge removal and salvage, we've been working on landowner meetings, plan development, and the project memorandum in our partnership with the Minnesota Department of Transportation, South Bend and Mankato Townships, as well as the landowners on both sides have been very supportive of the project. So we had a very good meeting yesterday, and we're moving right along on that at the speed that we can with a historic bridge and federal money. So
Yeah.
it's not a breakneck pace at it by any means. The
We
St.
all know that.
Yeah, I don't have to tell you that twice. The St. Clair shop plans have been completed and have been advertised. We're opening bids on April 26th, so we're looking forward to getting bid results for that. So we'll be bringing those forward for discussion on May 7th as well. And then the Mankato shop feasibility report document is being finalized, and we'll be bringing that forward at a future county board work session.
Work session, okay.
And then just briefly, construction project updates. We closed CSAH 1, the segment from Mount Cato to Mankato. Last Monday, they're resuming construction on that segment, so they're beginning to do some of the underground work for storm sewer connections and drainage, and then they'll move right into reconstructing the road segments as well as the reinforced soil slope, the 70-degree face reinforced soil slope. So that'll be another interesting construction method, a lot of exact and slow process, but again, the fact that we can stack it nearly vertical and really reduce how many trees we had to take, how much right-of-way we had to acquire, and how much dirt we had to truck into the project. So it should be a very, very interesting project when it's all said and done.
It's a nice way to put it.
It's been interesting, it's been interesting.
Yeah.
It's challenging, to say the least.
Yeah.
But I think we're certainly anticipating that when it's all said and done, we're going to have an award-winning project out there. In fact, I've already been approached to help develop presentations for the construction of it,
Good.
because the one that we constructed last year is one of the longest and tallest ones of its type
Wow,
in the state and really in the region. So,
that's great.
and the geotechnical consultant's very happy with the outcome and the work that our staff and that our contractor did. And then we've got a slug of box culvert bridges that are under contract, ready to go. Just need drier conditions, and then those will be bouncing all over the place. So with that concludes my report. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Okay. Do you have any questions for Ryan?
I don't.
I just have one. Have you been able to make a preliminary assessment of road damages and stuff from the high water? And
Yep, I don't have that amount
yeah, that's
off
fine.
the top of my head, but we'll get you. I can email that
Yeah.
out.
Okay, yeah. Is it a significant number then?
It's I don't believe it's as high as we'd seen in past years,
Oh,
but
that's good.
a lot of wet, saturated conditions that once we close the roads, just to keep them from being further damaged. But not a lot of big blowouts and damages like we've seen.
Do we have any damage on the east side of the 147 bridge? I know there was a lot of water came through there.
Yeah, there were some repairs that had to be
Okay.
done on the shoulder.
Well, good. Well, thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thanks, Brian.
Have a good day.
You too.
Joy.
So the safety meeting goes on even if the snow is an issue?
We're gonna move it. We're sending out a notice.
The 26th.
to
Oh, you already
April
decided?
26th.
You've already made it?
Yeah, we thought better play it safe than sorry,
Okay.
and
I
try to
just
have
said
the
thank you.
meeting, and nobody can make it, and all of our staff is out plowing snow. Yep, pushed it back 2 weeks.
Thanks, Ryan.
I think that's
Thanks,
far,
Ryan.
you think that's far enough, Ryan?
Yeah.
We hope so,
It's not
right?
May yet.
You know,
Is it safe just have it in July? Is that-
we had our oldest son's graduation reception Memorial weekend, And we had done a Saturday. It was gorgeous out. The next day we got a foot of snow.
When was that exactly?
Well, John graduated a long time ago. Let's see.
Well, I remember Memorial Weekend, the one that had snow,
That'd
Yeah,
be the
that would be that
one.
Yeah.
sometime in the
Early 90s.
nineties
It
or
was
something.
90s, yeah.
Yeah, we were out to the cemetery and
Yeah.
Tyler was just little. Yeah, it was about, yeah, 91 or 92.
Mhm.
I remember that.
Yeah. So, okay, we'll move on to the well sealing grant agreement. Tim?
Hi, everyone.
Hi,
Good
Tim.
morning.
Tim?
I was not expecting to be the one presenting.
Surprise.
but,
You were on the
boss
agenda.
got called away, so we'll give her a shot. I'm pleased to be here because obviously I deal with well sealing, so this is exciting for me. Colleen, were you around back in '91?
Oh, I was. Yep.
So our well sealing cost share efforts basically started back in '91 when we got a $50,000 grant at the time, and pleased to tell you that we've been basically doing cost share, from that point all the way. So we have our own cost share money that we've been giving out, but we have been seeing a increased need based on the fact that we're really pushing to get well sealed in this county. We're probably one of the leaders in the state. And so we applied for and we have received a $20,000 grant from Bowser. So I'm here to hopefully get a signature on that and a resolution, authorizing Mike to do the sign off and all that. So that's what I'm here to recommend to you guys.
Excellent.
I'll also move that.
Second?
Second?
Okay, any discussion?
So that's roughly like 20?
It's 20,000
I
and
mean,
then
as far as-
it's to be distributed
Right.
once the agreement's executed. We have 3 years or, all the way through just about at the end of 2021.
So maximum 1,000, so you're dealing with.
Yeah, they cut off the maximum 1,000, which actually works well because that's what our current program that we run is. So they'll run kind of, pretty similar. We anticipate that $20,000 funding should fund between 40 and 50 wells.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's great.
Okay.
What's the uptake been? Have a lot of people applied or?
We have not been pushing the applications because they're real clear on this one that they don't want any work done, so I haven't been sending letters out. A lot of our well sealing efforts are done as a response to an enforcement action that we're taking.
Okay.
So we usually send letters out and say, look guys, the law says that these are required to be sealed, but oh, by the way, we've got these cost share programs that can assist you or help you ease the burden of the cost to do that. So,
Do you have any idea how many are around that haven't been done?
well, yeah, I don't.
I don't.
I think we gave you a packet that shows you how many we've sealed. We've sealed a lot, but and we've done a lot of work on like inventorying old abandoned farm sites that we don't have work on. I'll give you for instance, yesterday we were out on 2 of those abandoned farm sites that are gone. We've been fortunate to have monies that we've been able to purchase equipment that a lot of counties wouldn't have. So we've got a piece of equipment called a magnetometer. It's a really high-priced metal locator. And we went on 2 sites yesterday and got 2 pretty significant hits, so I'm pretty confident we will dig and uncover a couple of steel case wells that, they're basically farming right over the top of. So, I mean, that stuff still exists out there,
Sure.
but we're working, diligently and very hard to eliminate as many of those as we can.
Yep.
So we're in much better shape than most of the counties in the state.
Especially around us.
Mr. Chair, it sounds like it's a really good way that you're doing it because you're getting the ones that are the most dangerous, or I don't know if dangerous is the right term, that need it more than others,
Well, yeah.
hopefully.
Each well poses a danger in and of
Yeah.
itself. I can give you one quick example. In Mapleton, we got a call from the city. City of Mapleton has a lot of wells in it. We go out there, sinkhole developed in the yard. And I mean, it was a big sinkhole, big enough that I could have fallen in it. And couldn't figure out what the 6-foot round circle in the yard 6 feet away was. It was the kids' swimming pool. And the way they found the well was they let the little munchkin dog out to go to the bathroom, and they heard the dog yelping, and the dog was hanging in the hole, ready to fall in. So yeah, I mean, the wells in the field pose a different danger and that more of a contamination issue, but we've got, you know, wells that certainly pose a significant. We've actually had one, two down by Rapidan where the boards gave way when someone was standing on the platform and they caught themselves with their arms. And it was less than a month later we were sealing that well because obviously the people realized that it was a pretty significant danger. So.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't know it.
Well, thank you for your efforts on that.
I appreciate
Much
that.
appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for supporting us.
No.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Okay, if there's no more discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thanks, Jim, good seeing you.
Welcome to second floor, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Shorter trip.
Pat, you got an update for us?
Sure. Mr. Chair, Commissioners, just briefly, the information provided speaks for itself. Just a couple of things I'd like to update you on. We have rolled out, in part, a pilot project to enhance and encourage with the truancy intervention program we've established with the Mankato District 77, a student attendance review team. We're starting to hold some of those meetings and actually divert more of those cases from court, and probation is involved at this juncture in providing more services because ultimately we want to try to keep these kids out of court, keep them in school. So that has been working very well. We anticipate rolling that out to the rest of the school districts throughout the county. That there's just a select couple of schools that we've started with so far. But I want to say that when I looked, which I think was last week, the truancy intervention program meetings that we had so far in the school year 197 of those. So that's where we just provide information to the student and parent or parents that decide to participate, to explain to them what will happen if they continue not to show up in school and ultimately will end up in court. So from a societal standpoint, the significance in my mind is that any kid that stays in school and receives that diploma versus becoming a high school dropout makes at least $1 million more in his or her lifetime. So depending on which tax bracket you want to fall into, the 20% to 45% as a millionaire, that's a cost benefit to the society of between $200,000 and $450,000. So any questions, concerns, comments with anything that you have?
Mr. Chair, I just think it's really good if you can keep them out of court, because I don't think anybody wins with that.
Right.
I think that's really important. And have you found that some of the truancy is also connected to our Human Services Department?
You know,
Or not?
they are because, well, technically the truancies are in its purest form a child in need of protection or services. So it is
Okay.
truly a CHIPS case. That's why it's actually got its own filing with the courts and whatnot.
Okay.
But usually there's some type of an issue. I've started with the premise that if a kid doesn't want to go to school and screw off with his or her buddies, there's usually more there that meets the eye. And many times it's a service-related issue. And we have actually been utilizing some of the expertise and resources from the Child and Family Advocacy Center, connecting these people, and because it's just more about getting them connected with services and making sure that they are aware of what's available in the community. Human Services every year. They do a great job of putting together the booklet of all the services that are available countywide from all the nonprofits and any of the other other services that are available. So yeah, anytime we can keep these kids out of court, we're all better off.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's also interconnected,
Oh yeah.
you know.
Right.
It is.
So, excellent. Anything else for us, Pat?
And not that I can think of right now, Mr. Chair.
Excellent. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Pat.
Thanks, Pat.
Shall we move on to administrative services?
Mr. Chair and Commissioners, the first item is the county board minutes for March 26. I will tell you that on page 46 of your packet, we have just one minor change to the minutes where we had indicated that Beverly Annis was a District 2 resident. We believe that should be District 4, so we'll make that correction as well.
Good. Thanks for catching that.
Jesse got it. So.
I'll move approval of the amended minutes.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay,
Next are the bills for the 2 weeks indicated in your packet.
Move approval of the bills.
Second?
okay, any discussion?
I don't have any questions.
Okay,
Neither.
okay. If there's no discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Bills are approved.
Item number 7 in your packet is the Human Resources Department agenda. Again, we just have informational items for the board today. We filled a couple of positions, one being a mechanic in the Public Works Department, and then an assistant county attorney, and obviously the county attorney's office. We did receive a resignation of a legal assistant, and so we'll be initiating recruitment to fill that position, along with a taxpayer services specialist. We've initiated recruitment there, both a taxpayer specialist 2 and a 3 position. Trying to fill some of those vacancies in our taxpayer services department. And then we've initiated recruitment for a 911 dispatcher as well as a part-time custody officer. Be happy to answer any questions that the board might have on any of those items.
Great, any questions for Bob?
I don't.
Okay, thank you for that report.
Well, Mr. Chair and Commissioners, item number 8 in your packet is a request for an on-sale liquor license by Morgan Creek Vineyard. This will allow them to sell beer in accordance with our farm winery ordinance. And so the sheriff and county attorney have both reviewed this application and are recommending approval.
I'll move approval.
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Is approved.
Item number 9 in the packet is a request from the Waseca Hockey Association to hold an on-site gambling event at the Indian Island Winery on May 11th. And so, again, this has been reviewed and recommended for approval.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
Always nice to get Waseca County associations coming to Blue Earth.
Not far away.
Ray does a nice job out there though, so that'll work out good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. So, okay, there's no further discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved. Okay,
Item number 10 in the packet is the financial status report for March 31st. This is the end of our first quarter of our fiscal year. You'll see that expenses are exceeding revenue at this point by about $9.5 million, which is a little higher than normal, I would say, partly due to our construction project at the government center. We also are seeing a little bit of the effect of the change in our health insurance arrangements, in that with the health savings account, we had in this first quarter a payment of around $450,000 into those health savings accounts. That is a one-time, or an annual payment, and so that cost will be spread out over the course of the year in comparison to the budget, but it was, a higher amount right away in January. Other than that, you know, you really do see, the construction project and some of those bills showing up in that building and equipment purchase line. That is expected, and so, we will continue to see that number grow throughout the year. In terms of the Ponderosa, again, here we have expenses that are exceeding revenues, mostly due to some large equipment that was purchased. I believe they purchased another dozer, so you see that in the machinery line of almost $500,000 there. The second page shows our cash and investment balances. You'll see that our total available funds are just under 50 million compared to our 6-month operating needs of, I can't even read that on this page, 56 million roughly. You know, and so then we have all of our dedicated accounts. So we are obviously living on some of those reserves as we wait for those first half taxes to arrive. Other than that, again, I'd be happy to answer any questions that the board might have on any specific line items.
Questions?
No?
I think I know the answer to this, but I just wanted to make sure now that we have gotten the electronic recycling going at the Ponderosa, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
And so that is a discounted rate for up to 3 items, I believe. And then, you know, things like keyboards and mice, and those are free. So certainly encourage people to, if they have electronics, to utilize the landfill as an option to dispose of those items.
And that's a $5 fee?
Yes.
Yep. Great.
Per item.
Perfect. Any other questions for Bob? Nope.
No.
Okay. Very good. We'll move on to commissioners' reports on committees. Colleen, you're
Okay.
ready?
Mine was a pretty light time. I was sick all last week, so that kind of takes things out. So on the 26th, I went to the Power of Minnesota up at MSU. It was all about clean energy, solar, wind. It was really interesting, and it was we had a commissioner from Nobles County there and a bunch of other people. And Mark was there. We were both there. And just kind of interesting, there are 57,351 jobs in clean energy now. And counties get about $12.7 million in wind energy production taxes each year. So,
Except for us.
not us, of course, but it's for the good of the whole, right? And we're at about 25% for renewable energy in this state right now. So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it was.
On the 27th, Mark and I and Vance actually went to an AMC meeting that talked about conflict resolution, difficult conversations, finding common ground. It was a training, and it was good. It was interesting. Mark and Vance were on the other side of the room, and I was on this side of the room, so it was interesting listening to the different commissioners around this Region 9 area and how they interact and how they work together, or not.
Well, they tried to set it up.
That's right, that's right. And the Jonathan Ziert visitation was Sunday the 31st. Kip and Mark were ahead of me. Jack and I sat there for an hour and 45 minutes waiting to go up, which is a real testament to Jonathan's work in the community and how people thought about him. So I thought that was really, really special.
He will truly be missed.
He will.
Yeah.
It's I guess he's at a better place. That's about all you can say.
Yeah.
So that's all I have, sir.
Okay, thank you, Colleen. Yep.
All right, after our last meeting, I had my emergency communication board, the statewide board, that we do a conference call in, and then I have to give a report. My legislative committee, which I'm the chair of, and it was pretty routine stuff. We do have a grant out there that Hennepin County through the ECN is running a program that the PSAPs are kind of under, but they're not following the same exact rules and guidelines. Well, they get a $600,000 grant, and they wanted more money. They wanted another $600,000. So they came to the ECN, and then all of a sudden our staff started saying, well, you're not really even abiding by the rules for the first $600,000 you get. So it has turned into a real a very interesting process, and Dana, who is just starting, is trying to muddle through this. She's been with us for several months, and she took Jackie Mines' place. And so she's trying to get this sorted out. You know, should we even be giving them $600,000 because they're not using it under the way the PSAPs are run? So she's trying to find out the research and why are they able to run it and not have it under that. So we've had some lengthy discussions about it, and obviously the outstate or the out metro counties want a piece of that also, and why aren't we getting some special treatment like that? So getting a lot of discussion, but last week they were going to order an audit, and then we'll just have to needless to say, since this has started, they've pulled back their request for the $600,000 extra funding they want, and I think they're just working to try to keep their $600,000. So I'll keep you posted on that. But this statewide emergency communication board and EMS is complicated because there's just a lot of different directions to it. Then after the conference call, we had our emergency communication board meeting here. We didn't really have a whole lot of items. We had to do one item for some councils over in LeSueur County, and then we got an update from Steve Tate, and then that afternoon I had my legislative committee meeting, and we got briefed again on the $600,000 grant and a couple other items. Then that same day we had our EMS meeting in Eagle Lake. Everything seems to be going along fairly well there. They got some funding. They're trying to get dedicated funding from the state legislator, but it's in the process. They're not real sure they're going to get it, but it's in the works. Then I was at the department head meeting, got a legislative report from all the department heads and updates. Then I had planning and zoning. We only had a couple items on the agenda. Nobody even testified, I believe, so we'll see that at the end of this month. And then I had my another statewide emergency communication board conference call. I was at the Benco meeting on Saturday morning down at the Civic Center. It's amazing how they can feed 1,800 people in 25 minutes. But
that's astounding when
yeah,
they do that.
They get it done. We unfortunately didn't get to stick around for the meeting because we had a wake to get to. So we did get to visit with most of the officers though, and they sure appreciate us being there and being present. Dave Sutherland is very appreciative of the county support and that we show up for that meeting. And yesterday I wrapped it up with an MRCI meeting, and January, February, March are always a slow time, or not good time for MRCI, but the weather just killed us. When they had to shut the whole shop down, the whole entire thing down for one day, and they figured it cost about $100,000. And it's just like any other program. If you don't provide the service, you don't get paid. So, but then there was also several other closings of different areas, and then when we have our consumers that are out working in places, if they're closed, we don't provide a service. So it caused a little bit of a budgeting issue, but we'll work through that. So and that brings me today, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Kip. Mark?
Okay, Mr. Chair, let's see, the 26th, along with Clean, that was the Clean Energy Seminar at MSU, and there was a lot of people there, and like I said, there was a few county commissioners who were there, and trying to remember his name, from Nobles County. He was big on wind energy, and of course they have more of the resources. They have more wind out that way, Buffalo Ridge and all. That was really good though, because you're right, it has a bigger impact and economically than people think with clean energy. Then actually our seminar, our South Central Service Center, where we had the commissioners from all over the seminar. It's 101, and it was basically conflict resolutions, different scenarios. We even got into kind of like foreign policy with headlines. Yeah. So it was really interesting though. It was kind of fun. Yeah. Then I did have a Partners for Affordable Housing meeting there at the end of March with, and we did receive a grant. Our director got a grant for about $100,000 for, it's actually for the St. Peter Motel that we'll be converting to, for housing there, affordable housing, or for our shelter. And we've been working with United Way. They've been really good helping, because that's part of the area, Nicollet. Of course, they have Nicollet, Waseca, and Lourdes County, so that's going well. Then we did have the Jonathan Zert visitation, and yeah, you knew it was going to be a lot of people there, both the funeral and visitation. Will and I, you and on the 28th had the Blue Earth River Watershed
Yes.
Seminar too. That was pretty neat. The Bowser DNR and PCA, and they were good. They were pretty complete. We went to these little different stations, and they talked about the rivers and the species in them, and how you can tell when the rivers it changes because of the flow and the sediment and all that. But it was helpful. They weren't condemning anybody. They were just trying to spread a little knowledge and work with the entities in the area. Then April 3rd, we had the department heads meeting. That was good. And April 6th, it was Saturday, was the Minco and the MVAC fundraiser. With the several visitations in between, because then we had Larry Norland and then
I did the funeral for Larry and the wake for Andy Johnson's mother that day.
Oh, this was sad, yeah. Okay. Yeah, and then I saw Andy at the MVAC
thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. That actually concludes my report, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Most of my stuff's been mentioned already. As Mark said, that he and I were at the Blue Earth River Watershed meeting in Fairmont on the 28th, and the department heads on the 3rd. Yesterday, I had JD1 ditch meeting down in Mapleton, and talked with landowners regarding repair versus improvement, and I think we've had lots of discussions about this. I think they're leaning towards an improvement.
Okay, good.
So, and that will certainly be very helpful with Lure Lake. It's been an outlet for Lure Lake, so I think that will be wonderful. Then we had a law library meeting yesterday. We're looking at ways that we can cut the budget on that, printed material versus internet access. So I think we'll be able to trim the budget significantly by refining some of those materials that we provide for the community. And we also welcome Pat McDermott to the board as the county attorney representative. Thank you for your input.
I figure you shouldn't have all the fun with all the library boards. Thank you.
Yeah, again, Miss Nelson would be proud if she knew how many library boards.
I think of that quite often whenever you and library are used in the same sentence.
Amazing, yeah.
Okay, and that's my report. Do we have anything else for the good of the order?
That's all we have for you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion to recess.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are recessed. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.